So.
Pretty much in mine too. At least on my mom's side, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. Okay, let me see. I'm going to see if I see the faces here. Yeah, everybody's coming back, so not Mary is not there yet. Let's see, blocked. Okay. I don't know if we have, do we still have our friend Cynthia on the phone? I'm not sure.
No. Yeah, there she is. Hi, Cynthia. There she is.
She is. Oh, okay. Wonderful. I'm going to have her be next if she's there, because she might have to leave because of her flight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, you go ahead.
Start?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Well, I am so honored to be on this teaching team, and this is a big, big dream coming through to me to have education of food addiction counselors. And I have been doing that in Sweden for the last 4 years, actually, and have a couple, I think 27 people took the training, and I think maybe 20 are getting their certification. I still tutor some people. And then, you know, the diagnostic certificate, 13 people went through the training and 12 are certified. So that's amazing that so many would take that. And of course, I'm going to let you know what that is all about later. But my background is in nursing, and I'm a recovering alcoholic for more than 31 years. It was 31 years in September. And I just love AA. I'm a proud member of AA, as we say. And that's where I started. And quit smoking after I've been in recovery for 7 years. And you can imagine what I did when I quit smoking. That's when I realized I was, as I call it, sugar and flour addict, and because that was my problem. And I went to Chicago for relapse training with Terry Gorski. And I've learned a lot from Terry Gorski. He's been one of my mentors, actually. And so that's when I met Mary, Mary Fushi. And that's how I got in touch with Esther and so on. But anyway, what I do today is that I quit doing clients. I've done thousands of clients, and I have not been working with food addiction for 30 years, as Esther said twice. It's I worked with alcoholics and drug addicts, and you know, for 29 years. So I was in recovery 2 years when I started working, and then with food addicts for 23 years. This year is 23 years, and that's when I started my own recovery. And I also, I think it is because English is not my natural language, but certain words are very important to me. And I don't like the word abstinent, because in Swedish that means withdrawal. I mean, that means hangover from alcohol. So when I talk about my food recovery, I'm drug-free. I'm sober and drug-free. That's my word for it. So if you hear me say that, you understand where I come from. And to me, sugar and flour is a psychoactive drug. And it's been all those years, and science has confirmed that. So I also got to meet Joan Ebbett in Chicago, and she's one of the, as I understand, pioneers in starting to work with food addiction the same way they did with alcoholics and drug addicts. And that was amazing to meet her many years ago. And she told me her story. And then being a nurse, I like to diagnose things. I don't like to work with somebody if I don't know what the problem is. And I work based on ASAM, on their definition of addiction. It's a brain disease with physical, psychological, social, and spiritual consequences. And I absolutely get shivers when I heard the word abuse, because in Sweden, that is much more stigma than addiction. So I can understand that you could use the word, if people abuse food, let us meet them. But to me, it is an addiction. The diagnosis is addiction. So I work with seeing people as social users, harmful users, and addicts. And I also work with addiction interaction disorder. And to me, once we did a small study on 200 people with food addiction, and 75% were alcoholics too, so that is not a strange concept for me. So that's what I work with. Those were some of the things I wanted to share with you, and I get back to you later. And thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you, Bitten, and just want to say, Bitten, thank you for being here, and I know that I know how much I have benefited and learned from you, and I hope still to learn from you, and so I am very proud to present you here as one of the teachers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So Cynthia, if you would go next, can you do that?
Yes, I can. I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? All right.
Well, there you go.
It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm Cynthia Myers-Morrison. The easiest way to describe myself as a lifelong learner, I have multiple degrees because I keep going to school to keep this active brain occupied in a positive function and positive way. It works. And I started my trek with addiction when I was very, very little, and I didn't know that I was an addict until I was about 24 years old. I'm 70 now, so it's been a long time in between, and I've been abstinent from alcohol 45 years. I'm a card-carrying member of Alcoholics Anonymous also. And I came to AA and to Overeaters Anonymous from a swingers party in 1971 in Los Angeles. And I was smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. So you can see I belong in 12-step rooms, and I belong with this addiction model. Although I didn't want to be an addict, and I didn't think I was until many years later. I knew that I had problems, but they were mental problems, they were emotional problems, they were other problems, not addiction. Oh no. So over the years, I came to accept that I was powerless over grain and sugar, and got abstinent in Gray Sheeters Anonymous 18 years ago. So I've been back-to-back abstinent for 18 years, and that's an amazing part of my recovery, because the mental and emotional and suicidal ideation that I suffered with for 27 years in sobriety changed radically at that time. Radically. So some of the mental and emotional problems that other people I know have dissipate with recovery from food addiction. It's really quite amazing. Quite amazing. And joy is part of it. So I'm a devoted member of all of this and so excited about this. I'm currently taking a class in trauma with the Bessel van der Kolk online, and I'm taken with how much of trauma recovery and PTSD has a sprinkling or more of food addiction involved, and so I'm interested in that aspect of recovery. I'm an educator. I have a doctorate in EDD, in educational leadership, and in gifted education. And so I'm a marriage and family therapist licensed in California and Pennsylvania. So I have a lot of different things that I know about, things that I get to share with a large number of people in recovery. And I'm looking so forward to being part of this program. Really delighted and wonderful to get to know all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm so glad that you could join us, even if you were in the airport.
I'll stay as long as I can.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Okay, so who wants to be next? Lior, maybe Lior, would you be next?
Sure, okay. So, hi, I'm Lior. I live in Israel. My accent is South African because that's where I was born a long time ago. I am a social worker specializing in trauma with somatic experiencing, Hakomi. I love Bessel's work. I've got his book, Cynthia. I'm also a certified addiction professional, and I am personally a recovering food addict, as you heard before. And so I've been around 12-step rooms, God, I don't know, since somewhere in the mid-80s, I think. And I can sit in an AA meeting and in an NA meeting and just change the substance. And other than that, you know, I see myself as an addict, and that also, knowing that and accepting that really makes a difference to my recovery. This training, even though I am a certified addiction professional and there are a lot of similarities, this training is a dream coming true for me, because I often ask myself sort of why, what's going on, you know, what is my purpose in life. And even though I've done a lot of different things, and I have a science degree as well, which really puts it all together for me with the trauma stuff, addiction, and especially food addiction, is a passion of mine. And I know I have a lot on the personal and on the professional level to offer, but this training, I hope, is going to take it to one level higher, and also hopefully to bring the program to Israel if there's some point in the future. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. How to juggle time and study and work, and I don't know, but when I make up my mind to do something, I go for it. And I'm really looking forward to studying and exchanging ideas, and just, I don't know. We're all pioneers. We're starting something that is so needed. I walk around and see people, and you know, just looking at them sometimes, just knowing how much they're suffering, and they don't know how to reach out for help or whatever. And so just having more tools to maybe be able to help someone else out there is really something that I hope I'm going to be able to do more and different and better. So thanks.
Thank you, Lior, very, very much. And I'm excited to have you on board. I know we're going to learn a lot from you. And I'm excited to have you on board.
Thank you.
So I'm thinking if we would have Agnes next. Agnes, could you do next?
Hi, my name is Agnes, and I'm a food addict. I have been, I think I've been a food addict all my life. It runs in the family. And well, I was 43 years old when I found out that I was food addict, and I've been abstinent now for 13 years this summer, and I can't imagine my life without my abstinence and my food, and yeah, well, I have a recovery from food addiction through my 12-step program, GSA, it's the name, and one day at a time. I'm a radiographer, and I have been on I think 3 intensive in food addict through my sister's counseling, what do you call it? Center. Center, yeah. And I have also a certification from a Canselor school here in Reykjavik, and I have also been trained as a professional trainer through Mary and Phil from Acorn. So I have a little experience in helping people with the food addiction, but I'm very glad to be coming here as a student and being able to learn more how to how I can be assistant and helping people dealing with this disease. And I work as a radiographer, but an ultrasounder also, and I am I work with echocardiogram, and there I can see the consequences from obesity every day, many times a day, and I know being there, I'm helpful, helping these people, because I ask them if they have been tried to get some help. I do that. I work at the hospital, and yeah. So I want to be more able to help in every way. Yeah, I think that's about. Yeah, I have this. I don't know if I told. I did take this. I am a counselor in alcohol and drugs. And yeah, then I just wanted to learn something more. So thank you. I'm very glad to get to know you all. Love you all. Bye.
Thank you, Agnes. Just if somebody didn't know yet, this is my little sister, which I love dearly. And I'm just going to say that for those that are going to be here for the 5-day, she is going to cook for us. And I am telling you, I always feel so honored when I'm invited, you know, to her place to eat. She is a fabulous cook, so you can look forward to that for sure. And I just want to say also that Agnes has really been there with me through the years when I've you know, with my food addiction treatment center here in Iceland, and she's been doing groups and work with us, and I find her already a very skilled food addiction professional, I must say. So I'm looking forward to seeing you become even better, hopefully, if that's possible.
Not
so, Sandra, would you be next? Are you there? Thank you, Agnes.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Hi, I'm Sandra. So I am a recovering food addict. I would say about 15 years ago now, I weighed approximately 100 pounds more than I do today, and I went through the 12-step model to find my recovery. And in the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, I've kind of changed my career focus. I was, part of a corporation for a long time, and then I became a coach, a CTI certified coach, if anyone's familiar with CTI. And I found out about this program really, I believe, through divine intervention, because I just happened to be doing some work with Vera Tarman in Toronto, and she said to me, are you interested in this work, doing more of it? And I said, for sure. And she said, well, what kind of training do you have? And I said, well, actually, I'm looking for some training specific to food addiction. And she's like, well, I've got the course for you. So the timing and the right question at the right time certainly led me to this course. It's amazing. In terms of what I do, I sit on the board of the Canadian Obesity Network, which I know Esther is familiar with, and along with Mary, my colleague, she sits on the board as well. And it's really about bringing a variety of disciplines together to tackle this incredibly complex problem, because people are finally getting it. It's not calories in, calories out. That's not working. It's not going to work, and we have a real problem in our hands. I lost my train of thought. But, and what Vera actually came and spoke to our group not too long ago, and that spared a lot of interest within this community of doctors and nurses and practitioners. I agree with Esther. It's not a widely accepted disease, but things in Toronto are starting to change, and we are starting a pilot program for food addiction. It'll be a 12-week program, And what's fantastic about it is that we found a way for people to take part in this program and have the Canadian government pay for it through our healthcare system, just to be clear, the Ontario healthcare system. So we're super, super excited about that. I'm excited about it because it's going to coincide really well with this program. I've already written the outline, but what I'm hoping is every week I'm going to learn something here that I'm going to take to those patients. And it starts at the end of February. So again, the timing of it all is divinely inspired and perfect, and I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm excited to be a pioneer in this. I really thought that was inspirational framing that Esther gave to us, that we are pioneers and we are going to, it starts here, and the ripple effect of what's going to happen is incredibly exciting. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandra. As I was saying before, it's all happening in Toronto. Woo-hoo! We're all going to be coming there. Okay, Kathy, would you be next, please?
Hi, sure. This is Kathy. I'm currently living in Labrador, Canada. I'm so excited to participate in this group. Just found out about it this past week. I happened to get an email. So my history is really began with my own personal experience of obesity, getting obese in my young 20s, and trying to find help with that, and having doors shut all the time, and then just being told I needed to diet, and then constantly failing at that dieting. So thinking I just had a weak will, you know, those kinds of things. But didn't see OA as a solution when I was young. I didn't like the spiritual ideas in there, so it was really off-putting to me then. And so I started searching out getting my own education, that if I just got these degrees in psychology and that type of thing, that I'd figure it out, because it seemed, I guess, as I look back, that it was a psychological problem for me in my estimation. So I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, went on to go to graduate school, got my master's degree, and I actually had a period of time where I lost 100 pounds in grad school. And I remember the moment where I thought, I've got this figured out. I know what to do. All my research papers, all my classes were focused on obesity, like fat bias, if I was in social psychology, whatever I could do to learn about obesity. But just a few months after losing that weight, you know, as a food addict, the wheels came off, and I put on 150 pounds in a year, and was in my last year of my doctoral program, and all the shame and isolation, the depression, the embarrassment caused me to isolate and pull back. And after a couple of years, I came back to school, tried to finish it, but I was out of time and didn't get my dissertation finished. And I really went into a personal spiral, because a lot of my self-esteem eggs were on my academic pursuit, and had failed at that in my estimation. The beauty of that, though, is it pushed me into looking into it as a food addiction rather than a psychological problem of lack of will or self-esteem or depression, and moved to Canada in 2012, and was just suffering enough with the effects of food addiction with obesity and other health issues. And just some angels showed up in my life that weren't even in OA, and brought me to OA, though, trainer, physical trainer, and recovered, got into recovery in Montreal, was abstinent for 3 years, working the program as it's presented in 12-step, and I got that same experience of the freedom from depression, the freedom from obsession. I thought, wow, maybe I am a food addict rather than I'm just some mental defect. But you know, my personal take is I moved to Labrador in 2015, a very isolated, remote place. The only access to OA was online. And I really struggled up here. I lost my abstinence, but I was exposed to Vision for You. It's a Big Book study group. Started really understanding and studying Big Book in a way that I didn't understand in the rooms, in the meetings. and how to apply the 12 steps to food addiction. And I'm newly recovering these past few months. So I'm new to that process, but I'm passionate and I'm adamant about it because of my educational pursuits and my personal experience. To me, 12-step is an integral part of people who are truly food addicted, because that's what's worked, the only thing that's worked for me in all these years. So, but my passion when I was in school was to start a treatment center for specifically the obese, that portion of the population I thought were very neglected. Because there were eating disorder programs, and I remember calling some, and they said, one in particular told me, well, we don't want you to come to the eating disorder program because you'll learn how to lose weight through an eating disorder behavior. So they didn't consider my obesity an eating disorder. So I just have this special passion for those people that suffer food addiction and obesity. And just know that when I saw this email and I saw training for a food addiction counselor, I was really overjoyed that I felt like I didn't have to invent the wheel. And then it would have all the collegial support. And I'm just so grateful and so excited to be able to participate. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy. Wonderful to listen to you and like everyone. So what would be your credentials and your line of study? Again, just to clear that.
I have an MF in counseling psychology. I was working as a marriage and family therapist in California. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking about going back to school to finish my dissertation in this field.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy. I was thinking Maria in Spain. Would you be next, please? You have to unmute. You have to put the arrow on the mute. Thank you.
Hi. Hi, all of you. Hi over there. Yes, well, my name is Romina. Actually, I am Maria Romina, but my main name is Romina. I live in Madrid, Spain. I'm not from here. I was born in Argentina, but I've been living here for the past years. And well, I'm a nutritionist specialized in diabetes. And I had the opportunity last summer to be working in Malaysia. That was my first contacts and experience in an Asian country. It was absolutely interesting from the cultural and most particularly from the professional point of view, because I could kind of realize how important this food issue is around the world. It's beyond the cultures. It's part of the human society, both West and East. And I strongly believe that there is a high demand of professionals, much more than the society realizes. I believe that this, among all the addictions, is one of the most complex one, and the ones that we as professionals will have to overcome a lot of issues in our society to be able to to find our spot and to be able to become of use for people, because it's very difficult, I believe, especially it depends on the society, but in many societies like in the one that I am right now, people are not so much aware of this issue. Like for instance in Argentina, since I was very little, I was used to over there in Latin America in general, but in Argentina there's a long history of nutritional science and the importance that people give to it, and I don't know, the caring for the health and all that. And there has been for ages a doctor, is very well known over there, who settled, it's similar to Weight Watchers. So you have all the centers that are called, it would be like the translation of Diet Club. And it's for, but it's mainly focused for obese people. But anyway, they have a reference, and there's always a reference in society to this kind of treatment, overcoming kind of food addiction in relation with obesity. But anyway, it is somehow known by, or it rings a bell to people over there. While here I noticed that in Spain, there's a lack of talk about it. And there's a lot of need to start talking about it and to start for people to become aware and for people to start realizing that this is it's not about them, it's about society, and it's very real. It's not just isolated examples, but it's much more common than people believe, and even doctors believe. I mean, have been very much involved into diabetes and bariatric surgery patients, and you see that all the responses and the tools that they get, they are most of the time they are very limited, and very often I felt so bad because you just have to shut up, you know, and you know that what they are being answered is not the solution. And it can even be worse, you know. So I remember having once heard from Beaton, which I appreciate your words and your sharing with me in the past months or so. And once you told me, yeah, all these people talk about food and the addiction or maybe obesity, and they put on, you know, treatments or protocols, but one has to understand that something is different when one is in front of a person whose brain is addicted. So my motivation for participating in this course is double-fold. I mean, it's for one, I want to understand how the addictive brain works, regardless of what the substance is, regardless of what the habit or whatever that you do. And then, of course, to focus much more on food addiction so as to be able to help my patients and to help people in general. I mean,
Oh, we lost her. Let's see. Can we see her at all? I don't think so.
No, she was dropped from the call, I think.
Yeah. Well, I hope she gets in again so we can hear the rest of the story. But until she comes in again, I'm thinking if we should just have the next one because we don't know how long it's going to take her to get in. And I was thinking, actually, David.
All right. Hi, my name's David Wolf. I'm a registered dietitian in the Boston area. I come to this disease quite honestly. My mom, who's on this call, is a food addict in long-term recovery, and my sister as well, which brought me into nutrition, I think, mainly. Also, I have a degree in culinary arts and culinary nutrition, so I like to use that sort of information when I work with my clients. I do work in a bariatric center in Boston, so one thing I do is I don't let food addicts have surgery. So I keep a tissue box on my desk because I make a lot of people cry. But kidding aside, the other things that I'm sort of involved in this field is I'm also a board member for the Food Addiction Institute, and work with the UMass, University of Massachusetts and School of Psychiatry has a food addiction research program, and we do a lot of I wouldn't say advocacy stuff, but things to get the word out and get. I think our goal is to eventually get doctors to understand what they're dealing with food addicts in general. The other thing that I am doing now is I'm working with Cynthia, who's also on this call, on a book on addiction, and I'm responsible for the section on food addiction, and also I'm in the process of publishing a grain-free food plan, which is a weighed and measured plan, which includes a lot of the foods that have been excluded in the past based on the fact that they weren't available. And it's just more updated, and it includes aspects of bariatric surgery, and so that's one of the things that I do a lot. The other thing I do is I run a cognitive therapy-based group within a licensed addiction counselor and relapse prevention specialist for food addiction. And our focus is on three concepts, which are the facts that help our food addicts identify the foods that they're addicted to. And we use a system of guilt, debate, and romance, which is basically that if you debate about a food, whether you should or shouldn't eat it, if you feel guilty after you eat it, or if food has almost like a romantic relationship with you, then those are what we identify as your trigger foods, and those are the foods that you identify. And most commonly, it revolves around carbohydrates, sugar, and grain. But so that's pretty much my story. Also, I do also work with Vera Tarman. I was the dietitian for her pilot treatment program in Toronto that took place last year. And so I'm also semi-involved with the food addiction community in Toronto, although I do not reside near there at all. Thanks.
Okay, here you go. I didn't realize I was muted. No, thank you very much, David. And I'm really excited to have you on board. And I had talked to David about him talking about his food plan and his work sometime during this process. And here is Maria Rome. I didn't realize Romina.
Yes,
can you come in now? Okay,
yes,
no problem. This will happen. So you go
just
ahead.
To round up, just to round up all of you, I'm so happy to be here and to be sharing with all these wonderful teachers and to learn from each other. I mean, just only by listening to others' experiences and work, and some coming from the health service, like me or David or Bitten or you, Esther, but others maybe not. So, but everything is valid anyway. And as you said at the beginning, we are doing this as a wonderful experiment, and we are building this as we make it. So that's very motivating as well.
Thank you so much, Maria. Romina?
Yes, that's okay. What's easier for you?
No, whatever you want. I just have
as
to practice.
long there's no other Marias, because here there's plenty of Marias. So, but for me,
Romina. Okay,
yeah.
Wonderful.
It's easy for everyone. Romina. Yeah, so that's remember.
Thank you. So I was going to call on Dima next. Would you come in, Dima? Can you hear us?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, that's great. I'm so happy to meet you all, and I'm so excited about this course. Okay, as I said before, I am a dietitian from Jordan. I have a master's degree in nutrition science, and I have been working with patients since 18 to 19 years. My story is a little bit funny because I'm a well-known dietitian here in Jordan, that I fight against food addiction treatment. I was never convinced about that. We had one lady that you know very well, Esther, which is Raja. She was working here in Jordan with food addiction. And I was always telling people that we should never stop eating any food we like. We can have little bit of everything. Even if they like chocolates, sweets, bread, we can have all of these in small quantities, which is the concept of calories in and calories out. But many people are reading about this food addiction here in Jordan, and they know about it and they like the concept. So I got more curious to know about this disease, to discover, is it a disease, is it a is it a real addiction or not, so that I can tell people and convince them more. I am an author of a nutritional magazine here in Jordan. I am a chief editor and founder of that magazine, and I always write about those diets or food addiction treatment that I'm not convinced about them. So when I started searching about this science and to know that, and what I put on Google is food addiction a science or not? This is what I was looking for to know about and to tell my patients about and to tell the community here in Jordan. And what I discovered was that I was a food addict. I am a fond of sugar, which I didn't know. I like white bread, for example. Even if I tell people not to eat it, it was my secret, my little secret. And I am a smoker also, which also nobody knows here. So I found out that I am a food addict, and it made me really searching more and more about that. And I got that email from Phil and Mary because I was sending them from long time ago that I want to know more about this science and if there is any online courses. And finally, Esther answered me, and I was so happy to know about it. I'm totally convinced about that science after I read about it, but I need to discover more. Today in my clinic, I was excitedly telling all my patients that I'm starting this course, and first they were so surprised because I always told them that this is not a true science and all of that. But I was surprised about myself that I am talking so happily, and I am so excited to give them those news. And I told them that we will start from now to work on that part. So I don't know if I will be able to be a dietitian who works on food addiction, or I will keep only telling people what is healthy and what is not healthy, and you can eat from everything. So I am excited to benefit from myself from this experience, to stop my sugar addiction if I can, and to be a pioneer here in Jordan, a dietitian pioneer in Jordan, to introduce this treatment to everyone here. So thank you so much, Esther, and the teachers and all the students. I'm so happy to hear with you in this trip. Thank you.
Thank you, Dima. Wonderful. And thank you for your openness. It's wonderful to listen to you. And as I said to you when we were talking, and before, you know, we're gonna benefit tremendously from having you here. We're gonna take you through treatment.
Yes,
you're gonna get treatment here.
I will be for you because it's my first time.
Well, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dima. And I was thinking, Judy Wolf, if you'd be next. Can you hear me, Judy?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. I'm Judy, and I just signed up for this, literally sent in my registration yesterday, and I am a food addict myself. Just to give you a little background, I haven't really worked in the science field for the past, I think it's a while, since 2000, but I practiced as a physical therapist and a respiratory therapist. I keep up my credentials, but I've been in food recovery since 1990 when my kids, David is one of them, he was like 3.5 years old. And I think that he's very lucky that I found some form of 12-step recovery then, because of course it changed my life. I'd much rather sit and have bags and boxes around me than monitor and take care of children. And I had 2 of them. My daughter comes by her food addiction, honestly, very different than myself. I'm a more person. I've lost and let go of about 110 pounds, kept it off for a number of years now. I'd say for about 11 years. I struggled in Overeaters Anonymous, and also, for me, this is only my story, in Overeaters Anonymous, I lost over 100 pounds and took an 80-pound bite back. I didn't realize I was white-knuckling because I didn't realize what I didn't know. And I tried 90-day OA and what became FA and just all forms of recovery in food. And I laugh when somebody asked about when we could have food addicts together. And I think we're the sickest of addicts because we have so many different programs and so many different problems. I can't imagine us all being together, but that's okay. That would be a dream come true to me too. But I found my recovery about 12, I've been abstinent 11 plus years in Great Eaters Anonymous because, as I said, I didn't know what I didn't know. I cannot eat any kind of grains, sugars, carbohydrates, and that changed my life because I'm not white-knuckling it anymore. That I thought I was a compulsive overeater or a compulsive eater. I never tended to be an undereater, except when something really horrible would happen to my children. But I am a food addict through and through today because I understand there's a difference. Because of Vera Tarman's writing, I understand there is a difference. And I pick up those grains and that white stuff, and I like the flour more than the sugar personally, but I'm sure today I take it all, that I can't stop. The cabinets say, come get me, and then it's a sliver, a slice, a slab, and it's gone totally. So my background, I have no background in counseling. I've mentored so many people, though, sponsoring. I mean, I hate to say this today, I have only 8 sponsees, but which I think is a lot. But, people find me, and I can't say no. And I also believe totally in medical abstinence. I'm passionate about the bariatric patient who maybe can't eat 3 weighed measured meals a day. I'm passionate about working with people from where they're coming from. And that could be a problem in Gray Sheet someday. And so I could foresee leaving if I had to and starting maybe on yet another food program. I could envision, because I'm not licensed in Massachusetts, you would have to be licensed as a counselor, whatever. I could envision maybe coaching. I do sit on the FARP committee, which is with UMass Memorial, because the medical school, because I live near here. I sit on that, and with the Food Addiction Institute, and I sit on that literally as a food addict with no other credentials. And I think I bring something to that because I come from a different place and space than the professionals. And it's very exciting. I've been involved with 2 different conferences, developing 2 different conferences for food addiction with that committee, and also now a brochure to get the word out to the medical people. And just to mention that I've been involved in the World Service level of Gray Sheeters Anonymous, which is a baby organization compared to others, and have been involved with writing manuals, trifolds, whatever, but especially the most important to me that I feel that I've done is a trifold for the healthcare professional, because we need to get the message out about food addiction and compulsive eating, whatever you want to call it, but especially food addiction, and to let people know that we exist and there's help. And when you have bariatric surgery, it's not a quick fix. I just want to mention this lastly. It's not a quick fix. It's, my son has taught me more that it's shame-based. People come to that with a lot of shame. And so many of those people gain their weight back. And that was their last-ditch effort. But of course, they don't do surgery on the brain. They don't give you a lobotomy. They just do something to your stomach and don't take care of the real problem. And so I really want to be there for that person who my son calls the double shamed person, the bariatric patient who comes, and gains their weight and just doesn't know what to do. And that's why I think we need to get the message out that there is help, and it doesn't necessarily have to be 12-step, but there is help, that this is a real disease and problem, and that there is a solution, and it can be individualized. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Judy, and I'm excited to have you on board. And do not underestimate women like Judy, who have been through the years assisting other food addicts in the field. So thank you, Judy. I was thinking Penny or Benedict, if you would be next, please. Do you hear me? Ja, gjør så vel, Benjamin. Thank you, Benny. And is it okay that we call you Benny for probably easier for most? Yeah. I'm excited that you are participating in this, Benny, and I don't know if you're okay, but about me saying that you've been under my guidance for a while now. Is that okay? Yeah. And I just wanted to say that Benny is I am so proud of Benny, and because I have literally seen him since May change, and you just in this short period of time from a really depressed, really diabetic in a really bad way, to a really strong, clear-minded person, and which is becoming more and more emotionally stable and getting out of depression and getting his diabetes under control, and has been abstinent since May. Even though he doesn't always agree with me with the abstinence part, I'm telling him he is abstinent. So I'm proud of you here, and I'm excited to have you on board here, Benny. Thank you. So I was thinking, Olaf, if you would be next. Are you there, Olaf? Hope you are.
Hello.
Hi, Olaf. Please.
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Nice to meet you all. My name is Olaf, and I'm a food addict, recovering food addict, and also an alcoholic. My story goes a long way back. I'm probably was a food addict very early on as a child, even though I didn't recognize it or started to think about my relationship with food being food addiction until about 5 years ago. Then I went into a ACORN intensive course here in Iceland with Phil and Maria and Esther, with the goal of learning more about the 12 steps and also about food addiction or addiction in general. At that time, there were about 3 years since I had a barbaric surgery, bypass gastric surgery, which I had in 2007. And after a long period of illness, I had given up, and the only way I saw out at that time was to try out for this surgery. And in a way, I'm still happy about the surgery in itself because it helped a lot. And I'm now weighing about 50-60 kilos less than I was at that time. But 3 years later, I realized that I was addicted to food, and I was starting again to eat a lot and getting more weight slowly. And besides the food addiction, I also experienced more craving into alcohol. And alcohol is known as being a complication with this surgery. So I had to look at many things again, and I was so happy when I went to this course, this ACORN intensive that was here in Iceland, because I experienced some kind of freedom right away. Like it was an opening for me that it was possible to work on this with a different view, and also with the help of the 12-step program. I have been involved in OA since, and I have been recovering with 1 or 2 relapses on the way. But I'm still ongoing with the life in a way. I look at it as a life challenge to have this sickness of food addiction. And I'm have been in a way since 5 years thinking about how I can use my knowledge and my experience as a food addict with my knowledge or my background, my professional background. I am a midwife and a nurse, and I have been a midwifery teacher, or I'm now an associate professor within midwifery at the University of Iceland. And I've, of course, been working with young families and pregnant women and through the years, and mostly I've been teaching women to become midwives for the last 20 years, but also a little bit involved in clinic. And now, after 5 years of thinking about it, I have the opportunity to sort of shift my professional identity or my professional development more into my side as a food addict, that is being looking at these things and working on these things both personally and professionally. And as I often say about the 12-step, and somebody said before how important it is for healthcare professionals to learn about and know about food addiction and treat it as such, and give people advice if they come to the health clinics, so they can get treatment or at least be diagnosed or in the right way. Being a nurse and a midwife, I want to diagnose and also to know who is an addict and who is not an addict. And then about the different ways to counsel and help people along. I have experience within the OA, and I have some, I've been sponsoring, and I think it is a very good experience to have experience from that, but I'm also very much interested in to learn how to do it professionally. I mean, to move from being a sponsor to be a professional counselor in this field. And I'm so happy that this course is starting now, because it's exactly the right time for me. I only work 50% now at the university, so I'm planning to start my own practice within the healthcare system in Iceland or outside. And so I'm very interested to be in this course, to learn from you, the others. I'm so thankful to hear about the experience of the others, and I know from experience how you can learn a lot from other stories and other experiences, and so this is going to be a very good journey. And I know from learning and being with Esther these 5 years that this is going to be great. So I thank you very much, and looking forward to work with you.
Thank you, Olaf. And having you on board, I know it's going to be great. I just wanted to say that we, as you know, that we have Food Addiction Institute, which is an organization for promoting knowledge and understanding about food addiction in the world. In Iceland, we also have such an organization. It's called Matarheill, and Olaf and Agnes are actually on the board of that organization with me, and we're hoping that other countries will follow up or with us and form an alliance of organizations that really do assist each other to work on these matters in each country. So I just wanted to say that, and thank you, Olaf. Asta. And there's 3 more people, and I was thinking, you know, if we just keep on, I know it's over the hour, and some may need to do something, but which I won't say what is. But I would really like to finish the presentations, and I was going to ask Rannveig from Iceland to introduce herself, and then Mary from Canada, and Sherry in the end. So I think then we will have all. So Ranveig, please. If you could.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Ranveig.
My name is Ranveig, but I have a middle name Susan, which is probably more easy to use for most people outside of Iceland. So you're welcome to call me Susan if it's more easy. I'm excited and honored to be here with you. All of you have such a lot of experience. I feel that I have absolutely no experience. From a private point of view, I have experience with alcohol addiction. My mother was an alcoholic and actually died from it. And in her family, that there are in that side of my family, there is addiction of different kinds. I have no experience with food addiction, not myself or in my family, not that I know of. From a professional point of view, as a grown-up, I took a degree in psychology. I have a Canselor, so I'm allowed to work as a psychologist here in Iceland. Right now, I'm working in a center that's working with work-based rehabilitation. We have a lot of young people and some older or middle-aged people that have been out of the workforce for a long time and need help to come back. And I see a lot of them have problems with food, which is a big problem for them. And I think that this can help me in that work. I also, I'm hoping to start my own praxis. And I think this will be a good, I think it's very necessary. This is a very necessary field because there are so many people that are having big problems with food and they do not seem to get help from all of these diets and things that are going on. And so there's something else that is needed. And I think that this course can give me the tools needed for this. So that's why I applied for this. Yeah. So yeah, I'm honored and excited to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranveig. And I just wanted to tell people she is actually from the Faroe Islands.
Yeah.
So we're adding to the countries, you know,
yes.
The internationality of this group. So very, very welcome, Ranveig. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
So Mary from Canada, from Toronto, the place to be. Go ahead.
Hello. Well, thank you. I'd like to be, it's nice being near the end because I get to hear so many stories and I'm really appreciative of how everyone's speaking English. It's the only language I speak, and however you struggle with your words, I very much appreciate your effort to communicate with an allophone like me, which means just one language. So thank you. I'm lucky to be from Toronto as well, where good things have been happening. And by training, I'm a dietitian. I also have my master's in business administration, and I started to talk to patients about the addictive nature of certain foods in about 2009. Didn't have abstinence solutions because I hadn't seen them, and probably was intimidated by them as well. But when Vera Tarman's book came out, lucky to be in Toronto, I invited her to the clinic where I work to do clinical rounds, which she graciously accepted and was there within 2 weeks to do a rounds. And from that point, I was able to get the doctors I worked with to refer to her for assessments for addiction counseling. So it started to get recognized a little bit. And then I'm part of the serendipity that Sandra was part of, just to be involved in obesity in Toronto, and these wonderful things keep happening and open doors and opportunities. So I feel very lucky to be here and probably the serendipity has pushed me a little bit because I have now been abstinent of sugar, flour, and grain for 3 days. So, and that's after white knuckling it for 32 years. So 32 years ago, I took on the banner of every good dietetic student and used moderation to the extreme with a little bit of excess permission, and pretty much kept 50 pounds off for that time with little blips in the way. And I'm really looking forward to learning a lot more about addiction and embracing food addiction. I've come out of the closet, so not just to myself, but to others as well. So I probably want to go too far too fast, but what the heck. I must admit, David's tool I'm not too happy with. I've got it written down here, guilt, debate, and romance. I'm not looking forward to finding all those trigger foods at all, but I'm open to it, unfortunately. I don't know what I don't want to say what I might have to give up. I'm not ready yet. But so I'm very excited. I like to organize things. I like to be on the ground floor. I like to be with experts. I really was overwhelmed with food addiction since 2009 because it's such a pioneering field. And just to hear the expertise in this group, our group as well as our teachers, it's nice to know we all don't have to reinvent the wheel. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm eager to put a lot of energy into this. From the age of 2, I wanted to find a cure for obesity and be famous for it. I don't need the fame anymore, but that's when I was put on my first diet. And I think going to school as a dietitian, I was discouraged. And I think I'm getting my encouragement back that there are some solutions for some people. So it's exciting, and thank you for organizing this program, and to all your leaders who've really put themselves out there and put a lot of energy into this for the rest of us to have as a launching pad. So that's me.
Thank you, Mary, and I'm excited to have you on board, really.
Thank you.
With an interesting background, both the dietist as a dietitian and as a business person. So, I think that's usually a good combination for a lot of this work. So, Sherry, if you would.
Sure.
Go ahead. Thank you, Sherry.
I'm Sherry, and I live in West Virginia, and I've been a food addict, although I wouldn't have called it that back then, all my life, and became involved in OA about 34 years ago, and since that time had been to 3 treatment centers, and gained and lost 100 pounds while in OA twice. I was just remembering that the first treatment center in 1985 was very interesting, that they taught that food is not an addiction by the definition about that you develop a tolerance and have to have increasing amounts. And I remember a doctor explaining, like, you don't get euphoric recall like you do with drugs. And all that did apply to food, but they didn't see that themselves. And it wasn't really until 2004 when I went to an Acorn intensive that I really began to put together some back-to-back abstinence because of looking at the addiction model. And I joined the professional training really just for my own, just to help me. But one of my project was hosting an intensive at my house, which was, there were lots of very interesting events, but one of them, and this was about 2010, was that Raja from Jordan, that was her first introduction to Acorn. And I felt a little bad that her first trip to the United States that she was in wasn't even in our capital, Charleston. It's in a more rural part of it, and stuck at a sleep-in motel. But I was there when she sort of had her aha moment about it being food addiction, and not just that it's food addiction, but what, because lots of people bandy about that term, but what is the treatment if you truly consider that it is an addiction, where I think everybody gets, starts to part ways. And that I am a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for about 33 years. Why I wanted to sign up was several reasons. I am getting close to a retirement age and would like to do something in this field because West Virginia, for those who are not United States, Mississippi and West Virginia are always vying for the state with the most obesity, and it is pretty awesome, but awesome in an awful way. And they're starting in the state to take notice, but it is along the lines of wellness councils and exercise and education about making healthy choices, blah, 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 blah. And the medical community is big on bariatric surgery and the psychological, the eating disorder piece. But so I feel like I'm not even on the ground floor. It's more like the basement. But I want to come to the party, and I don't have really any credentials for that. And so I was thinking that this might be a help to do that. And my cat is laying here with me, and I was just thinking about how she throws up every day. So I think she can benefit from this too. And I think that's it. And this is totally off the point, but I'm fascinated with everybody's walls behind them, and how they, but recognizing I'm only seeing a slice of their where they are, but my walls are very cluttered with art. But so I was fascinated with how nice and everybody's wall looked without all that. And one last thing is that when Bitten was talking about other addictions, Phil talks about process addictions, and I have compulsive spending and procrastination. And you don't hear a lot about procrastination, but it can be a just as much of a making life unmanageable, and so I'm interested in, and it impacts on my recovery as a food addict. So I'm keeping in the back of mind that I'd like to do something, because I in no way can say that I have been in recovery from procrastination for minutes. This is something I struggle with on a daily basis. I have been abstinent for about 7.5 years. And that's it.
Thank you, Sherry, and thank you for sharing. And I know a lot of people entered the Acorn professional training for their own benefit, and I do think that this kind of a training is excellent for that also. And so I do welcome people, with any kind of interest into the training. And whether a person is going to really use it in the end, is, we hope so, of course. But if they're not, if they're using it for their own benefit, they are absolutely using it. And they're using it for the most important person in the world for them. So whatever happens with you, Sherry, I know that you are already doing work with Acorn, the nuts and bolts, and I know that you're going to be doing wonderful work also with this, whatever it's going to be for you. So thank you, everyone. We are half an hour over. I really try to honor the time and have like 3 to 5 minutes every hour as enough time. What we have left to do today is to go over starting to take a look into the student workbook, and we can spend 3 hours doing that, but I think half an hour, maybe 45 minutes will probably do it for us, because mostly, what I want you to do is now just to start working on it by yourselves. Other thing that I was wanting to talk with you about is a study group, 3 people in a study group. And but I want you to have like a couple of minutes to just stand up, have something to drink, go to the bathroom or something, and then we're going to be back. Like now it's on my computer, it's 31 over the half hour. So in 4 minutes, let's try to have it a short one, but stretch a little bit.
Esther dear, I have to leave.
Okay, Bitten. Thank you for being here with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you to all of you. It's been an honor to listen to you, and I'm very touched by all your sharing, and I'm absolutely floored with all the experience that's in this meeting. That's amazing to be able to share that. So I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
You take care. Bye-bye.
Southwest Magazine for Connection Procedure. All portable electronic devices such as e-readers, tablets, cell phones may be used during all phases of flight. However, once the forward entry door is closed, they must be powered off or in airplane mode. If you're seated in the emergency exit, please review the safety information card located in the seat back pocket in front of you for the seating requirements and operating instructions of the door.
Cynthia, are you needing to? Oh, you're in the plane. Cynthia, I can see you in the plane. Can you stay on for a while, or are you just on your way? Can you hear me? There you go. I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
I can listen for a few more minutes.
Oh, okay. Okie dokie. Hey, so we're on again. And I'm just going to mute you. I'm going to mute you
because I can't figure out how. Thanks.
I'm muting everyone except me. Yes. I'm learning by doing. So, a few people are not back to the seats, but we will try to start. Most people are there, I think. Yeah, most people are there. Okay, so concerning the study group, just to try to get you together there, I was thinking of with the study group to try to get people together that are in a similar time zone. I would suggest that would probably be the easiest. I also want to put people together that don't know each other, so that you benefit from really learning and being acquainted with new people. So So in Europe, this is pretty easy because people really don't know each other there. Thinking, and just to let you know, there's 2 more people in the training that weren't able to be here now. That's Monica from Australia and Susanna, who is a Hungarian doctor, MD and psychiatrist, and she lives and works in Norway, and she wasn't able to be with us for this session, but she's going to be here in the morning, and she's going to try to come in next Saturday to get acquainted with the other study group at least. So this might be a little bit of a headache. In order for us not to spend time on this right now, I'm going to suggest, and I hope you're okay with it, that I suggest a study group for each and every one of you. If you think it's going to be a problem with it in any way, please let me know, and I'll post it to you. I post the groups to you, and if you, as I said, if you think there's going to be any problem with your group, you won't be able to get time together when you try to connect each other, such things, please let me know, and we'll find a way with it.
Esther, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Judy, just a question, and maybe you've already thought of this, and a suggestion is to also not only look at where we live, which, and doing different people, but also our backgrounds, because some people have I figured you were probably going to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Psychology, real background, so counseling.
Yeah.
So it's just
right. Thank you for that, Judy, and I think that is very important also. I will try to my best. This study group is going to stay together for half of the term. When the half term, we will find another group for each of you. So you will have a new group for the second part of the term, so that you get the benefits of working with more people. So what the study group is required to do is to meet at least once during the week, and you need to find a way, whether Skype or Zoom or whatever you want to do. If you choose Zoom, which is a very nice way of communicating, as I think you see at this point, you need to know that if you have the free Zoom, your meetings will last for 40 minutes, and then you have to reinitiate them. So the free version of Zoom only gives you 40 minutes, but then you can reinitiate just for that. And now all of you have it in your computers. It's very easy. And so that's one way. Maybe Skype. Maybe you want to be just doing this through Messenger or whatever way you find to do it. You should at least give it at least 1 hour, maybe a couple of hours for the most part, because you're going to be going over the material in the chapters, discussing it, even practicing with each other, and for the most part, understanding the material, discussing it between you, and there will be exercises to do, which might be good for you to kind of talk over with each other. Of course, we will go over them also in the study group. So this week, it's the first chapter of the workbook, and I've already sent that to you into Dropbox. I also sent it as an attachment with a post that I sent you prior to this meeting. Just in case if you didn't get acquainted with the Dropbox yet, please let me know if you have problems with connecting to the Dropbox. I am getting acquainted with it and learning about it myself, so I will do my best to assist everybody in working with it. And I'm just going to say I'm just starting to set things up there. All the audio files will be there. All the chapters are coming in, and this coming week you will get chapter 2 and 3 in there, so you can start viewing those chapters next week, this coming week. Also, I will be putting in all kinds of material. If you have any material that you think would be beneficial for the group, you are also welcome to put that into the Dropbox group section. So, you know, we'll be gathering all kinds of material in the Dropbox. So everybody really needs to associate themselves and learn how to go into Dropbox and work that. So I hope you don't have too much problems with it. So any questions around the study group process? And so next week, I would like to know who is going to be, and I'm telling you, you can be on both study groups if you want it, you know. You can both be on the Saturday 8 a.m., between 8 and 10 a.m. Eastern time, and the Sunday one if that's appropriate for you. So I'm not expecting you guys in the States to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do it, but who knows? If you have nothing else to do and you wake up, you're welcome. But I really need to know who's going to be there, for example, tomorrow. Who else is going to come into the Sunday morning group tomorrow? And I know that I will be having 2 people, but maybe you can let me know either by post or now. Okay, so everybody okay with me deciding on the study groups? Do I see a yes? Okay. Remember that you can communicate on the chat. Remember the chat down at the bottom? So if you have questions or anything, you can privately say something to a person, or you can say it to the group. So if there's anything that you want to communicate without breaking your silence, you can do it there. And sometimes I don't see it. I'm too involved in what's happening, and then just break your silence and let me know. Don't be shy about that. So everybody ready to open up the workbook, student workbook, and take a look at that? So either in Dropbox or in your email. And I don't expect that you have printed it out, because you didn't really have the time, but here I do have printed it out. And I'm actually going to put myself in there so I have it the same way you do. Okay, I'm going into my Dropbox here. There it is. It's called Food Abuse Counselor Workbook Chapter 1. And I'm going to open that up. Opens up in Word because it's in a Word document. Here I can see that Dima is also viewing this file from the others may be viewing it from your attachment in your computer. And if I just wanted to know if anybody was having a problem with viewing it. Somebody that can't find it, can't view it, or something, please let me know.
Did you send the link to us?
Yes, I did. I sent a Dropbox link for this earlier today, a little earlier, and then I sent it as an attachment with a post that I sent you before. So if you didn't get the Dropbox link, please let me know so that I can fix that if I did something wrong with that. Dima obviously got it, and so some at least did, but yeah, it's both in an email as an attachment. And I also sent you a Dropbox invitation. So you should have gotten both. I don't know how it gets to you. I must admit. Maybe you get it in an email. I don't know. Is that what you're talking about, Benny? That it is in that the connection to Dropbox is in a email to Dropbox? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Benny. You have to unmute. Yes, yes. Okay. Oh, okay. So you got, yeah, so you got it after we started. I sent it earlier, so, but obviously it took time to get to you. It's so far away and then to go back to you guys. Thank you, Benny.
I didn't get it.
Okay, okay. So anybody that does not get the Dropbox invite and can't find it, let me know and I'll resend it to you. But I'm sure you should have gotten the post, Agnes.
Well, the last post I got was in fact into the today.
Yes, and it should have had been an attachment.
No, it isn't. It's just the Food Addicts Canselor Workbook, Chapter 1. It's nothing else.
That's it.
No, it's just...
You should open that attachment.
I have, but it isn't there. It's just the book itself, the workbook itself. Were you talking about that?
Yeah, it's the beginning of the book.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about sending me the link to the Dropbox, so I could use there. Yeah, well, I can find that. So it's okay. I got the first chapter. That's okay. But
okay,
I was looking for the Dropbox link.
Yeah, I sent both. So maybe not everybody got the Dropbox link yet. So because it takes obviously time for it to get to you.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Agnes. So, Kathy, I can see a question here. I will send you an answer to this a little later. Okay. So if we look and view the first page of the Food Abuse Counselor Workbook, inFACT, International School for Food Abuse Counseling and Treatment. As I said before, maybe we will change the abuse to addiction or dependence or whatever. We'll find out. We do not have to decide at this point. I don't have to decide at this point, but I think it would be good to get your input on it. It's my experience. I just wanted to say as an additional talk on it is that it might be a good way in order to get more people on board with the idea of this as a disease. But who am I to know? We'll see. So this is revised. This is a workbook that is revised from being a workbook for alcohol and drug abuse counselors. And I was lucky enough to study from Dr. David Powell, who was the one that wrote it up originally. I just wanted to let you know the history behind it. It's Dr. David Powell he's passed away 2 or 3 years ago. He fell. Was working on his house and fell and died, and it was a very tragic death. He had just started as an addiction professor of addiction treatment at Yale University, and he had all his life been working in the addiction field. He'd worked and gotten AA together in China and all over the world, and he'd worked on addiction treatment for the Navy and the Armed Forces in the States. And this book was actually done for that purposes in the beginning. Then it was revised and used and has been used widely with schools that teach and give certification under the IC and RC and like Nordic Baltic and others. So it's based on a 12 what was it that they call it? Criteria, universal criteria for addiction treatment. So the chapters, there is 12 basic chapters, and then there is the 13th chapter in this book, which is for the development of the counselors. So he adds that to the global criteria for addiction counseling. And I think it is actually a very good addition. We can't forget about ourselves. So the table of contents, and I just want to add to this that I am in the process of setting this up more in a, for the printers, and so the numbers of the table of contents are all out of rack, and don't mind them at this point. So you see what's within the whole workbook there and the table of contents. Some of it will change as we are working on it, and but the chapter 1 screen is called screening. It's got introduction, global criteria gathering information, cage 8, which is a 4-questionnaire screening tool that has been used worldwide. And I had actually asked Bitten to send to me her screening tool, which is, I think, is 6 questions. And then we have how we conduct interview activity, being aware of biases, agency screening, which is withdrawal screening for alcohol and drugs, and I'm going to keep that in there, but then I do have a page about a withdrawal from food addiction, and actually, which Phil sent to me, we who work in the field of food addiction know that there is withdrawal, and sometimes it is horrendously severe. And I have real difficulties because I basically and mostly work with outpatients, outpatient program, sending people home, withdrawing from sugar and starches is, it just sometimes just breaks my heart. So they did do a study at one of the ACORN primary intensives, and I'm going to add that study into Dropbox so that you can take a look at that study. I don't know of any other studies about withdrawal, but I know Teresa Wright is going to be talking about it, and Bitten has some stuff also. I think most of her stuff is probably in Swedish, but she might have some in English. So we'll hopefully get some stuff from her too about withdrawal, which is of course very necessary for us to understand and see. And I've set up a similar form for screening food addiction, withdrawal from food addiction. And so that is a new screening tool in here. We have a case study. This is Anna. She's a fictional lady. In the other book, we had Randall, of course, a male, being an alcoholic and a drug abuser. This Anna, you will read her story, and she is the case story that will be used throughout the workbook. And we may add different case studies, and some of us that have worked in the field, may have suggestions for different case case stories, and maybe some of you will be oh, okay, somebody's talking about the pages. Some of the pages are empty pages for sure. So you just scroll over those. Don't worry about it. It will be worked on in the print edition. Oh, okay, where was I? Yeah, the case studies. So if you have case studies yourselves, it would be very interesting to get those into the study groups and into the student workbook classes to talk about. We have the self-study questions and answers, and then there is like 3 exercises. So before Saturday, I will ask you to really read this chapter. Be mindful of the material that I'm going to be putting in into Dropbox about the withdrawal and whatever else I can find for you, and do the exercises. Find time to connect with your study group, and hopefully connect and work with them at least once before we meet next Saturday. So,
quick question.
Yes.
So I had to leave for a second there. You are setting up the groups for us?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Yep, thanks.
David, I think it's actually better than me just doing that, but let me know. I also said that please let me know, if there's a problem, you can't connect with somebody, and, we'll reassign. Okay. So if we just spend a couple of moments on, the remainder of the table of contents, you see the chapter 2 is about intake into, treatment and the chapter on intake is coming to you soon. So you'll be able to read that properly. I will probably publish that in the Dropbox tomorrow. So it's really ready. And there's a lot of reading in it and interesting stuff that is good for us to know. The chapter 3 is, where's chapter 3? Oh yeah, here, orientation. I also, for the most part, finished the work on orientation, and so I will be sending that into Dropbox pretty soon too. And next week, you will actually be working on both chapter 2 and 3 together. Then, for the most part, only one chapter for the remainder of time. So chapter 4 about assessments, we're going to have Bitten do, she is, I would say, probably one of the, the most experienced with screening, assessing, and her tool on mapping addictions. You're going to be so excited about it. I know I am, and I was, and it's all in the making, and it's being valued also in Sweden. And so we'll see where that is at. And that's maybe the problem with both screening and assessing for food addiction, is that the questionnaires that me and others have been using, they haven't really been valued, peer-valued or valued. That for people that don't know what that means, is that it needs to be worked in that kind of a way that it shows that it does really work. And Bitten will describe that process for you, I'm sure, among a lot of other things. So we go from assessment to treatment planning. There we will get Teresa Wright with treatment planning. I will talk a lot about different treatment models also. Phil will come in with different treatment models. So we'll have a lot of work around that, and food plans. What I think is going to be probably the most difficult part ever in working with food addiction is the food plans, because we are so different, and what one person can do with their food, another person can absolutely not do. And so we really need to learn to be aware of that and understand that some people are like me and a few others here that can have very little grain, can have no sugar at all, and so while others may be able to do a lot more grains than, for example, what I can do. So I know that if I didn't get, I hadn't gotten a grain sheet, I know I wouldn't be abstinent today, because grain is probably my primary addictional substance. And whether that has something to do with the leptin resistance in my body or something else, that is something we may explore somewhat with Vera Tarman, who is going to talk about the brain disease and biology, and Abitten is also very into that, and we'll also talk about that. So counseling techniques, I will talk about it, of course. Everybody here will have their ideas about counseling, and we'll have a lot of discussions about it, and we'll discuss different techniques. Case management, crisis intervention, just going over this here, patient education, referral, which is very, very essential for us to know how to refer and hopefully have people to refer to. Reports and record keeping, I will probably mostly be talking about that, giving you insight on that, and most people within the health and social sector will, of course, know that, how to do that. Consultation, professional growth of the 13th chapter. So reading material, you got the first chapter as of now. Now you just really need to start diving into the material, getting the material, and just to clarify, if somebody missed out on that, you will get a hard copy of the manual. But I am going to be working on it at least for the remainder of this month with you, of course the other teachers, and along with the representation from the Nordic Baltic, which will have to go over everything that we do and put their stamp on it, a yes or a no. So when you will get it into your arms, I hope that will be in March, but I think it's better to really have it done in the right way, in a good way, and get it a little later. And you can print out whatever material if you want to have it in, out like I always like to do, or just keep it in your computer, whichever way is convenient for you. So I'm done. Questions? If we would just go around if there are questions, or just how you're feeling, or whatever comes up for you.
Question, Esther. When will we find out who our study group is? Will you email us? Will you?
Yes. Yeah. After this session now, I am going to have something to eat because it's over 6 o'clock here in Reykjavik, no, in Eyrarbakki, Iceland. And then I will sit down and I will set it up and send it to you, tonight. I will do that. Okay. So you will have to, after tonight or today, you should have the names of your study group, and you will have the emails. And if you scroll down in your email that I sent you today, you will have all the names an email addresses of everyone in the class, plus mine. So, and I didn't put in there the email addresses of the teachers, but they will probably be there in Dropbox. I just need to clarify with them which emails they want to be using for you. So you will get that too. Other questions?
Will there, Esther?
Yes?
Will there be time for some questions when we have the teacher after they give the lecture?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be the same as we're doing this now. So you can write out your questions in the chat.
Okay.
Yes. And or when the teacher opens up to questions and talks, you can the same as I'm doing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Esther, it's Judy. I have a question. I wrote it, but I may need to change my email address because my Dropbox is full. Otherwise, I have to upgrade. So
okay.
Let you know that for Dropbox. Otherwise, I would want everything to come to this email, the email address I'm using.
So splendmt@gmail.com.
That's what I have now. That's where I'd like message, all the information. But I think I'm going to need to change the email to the Dropbox.
Oh, okay, Judy.
You know what I mean? Because I can't.
Can you do that a little today or?
I'm hoping so. David said he'd help me. I already asked.
Okay.
Because it's full, so I just wanted to mention that to you. So you would be able to do both. Send me Dropbox into one address and notifications to the other. That would be so much more helpful. Thank you.
Okay, and you may send me an email just clarifying that and give me instructions for that. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Okay, so anybody else with questions or concerns? Yes. For this week, only chapter 1. However, I will send you chapter 2 and 3 most likely tomorrow or Monday. So you will have them to read pretty soon also. Yeah. And the assessment chapter will probably come next week. Looks like. So I will be working on the material, and really once I've done the chapters, I will put them into Dropbox. And there is, yes, what I needed to know is who is going to be attending the Sunday morning lesson.
I
can see Agnes is.
I am. It's 8 o'clock your time, right, Esther?
Yes. 8 o'clock Icelandic time.
Okay. Oh, so it's 9 for rest of Europe.
9 for you, Romina. So Romina, are you coming then or what?
I will try to do it Saturday as a fixed appointment, but in case I cannot make it, I will let you know beforehand.
Okay.
I will fix it for Saturday.
Okay. So Romina on Saturdays, and Agnes was going to come on Sunday mornings. I saw that. And I know, of course, Monica and Susana.
Y acabamos.
Anybody can come tomorrow morning?
Benny, you would like to be doing Sunday mornings? No. Both? Okay. And Lee or?
I'm going to come tomorrow, but I may have to alternate a little bit depending on work and family stuff.
Okay, no problem.
I'll let you know as we go along. But tomorrow, tomorrow I'll be there.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. So anybody else on Sundays?
Esther, can I get the invitation just in case? I mean, can I can you put me in the list? Tomorrow is going to be the same as today, introductory, and to get to know the Australian colleague, right? Okay.
Yes. And anybody just, wanting to come again tomorrow for 2 hours,
okay.
It would be wonderful. You're very, very welcome. So anybody wanting to have the option of coming on the Sunday, please let me know, and I will include you in the Zoom invitation.
Mm-hmm.
You just let me know. And so if there are people that might be there, I will let me know, and I will still send you an invitation so that you can come in. I think it's too much to send it to everybody. That would be crowding you. But okay. So anybody else? Yeah.
I did have a question.
Yes.
Is the meeting ID the same all the time?
No, it will always change.
Oh, okay.
With each meeting, what I could do is I could send you a reoccurring Zoom meeting, but I won't do that because, I try to do that for my recovery groups that I have on a continuous basis. Because so many people have such different views in their computers. Some have Outlook for the post, others don't. So some will have a place where they see everything come in, and some don't. So I will always send you the invitation, like on a Friday night for Saturday, and then on Saturday night for the Sunday.
Okay. Thanks.
So that means that you will get a fresh meeting invite from Zoom every week. I think it's going to be better because then you can find it more easily within your email. And let me know, some may even lose it, it may even go into junk mail or something. So please check and let me know if you haven't gotten it. And I'll resend it to you. And I know that I did send everybody the Dropbox invitation to our group. So if you did not get that, I will probably be able to do it again. But I really would appreciate if you'd really, really look for where it could be. And then let me know. If you can't find it, I will send it to you. And get help if I don't know how to do it. I will get help. If there's anything that I learned in life, is not to try to do everything by myself. So I just want to say, as a director of this, and I am excited, and I can tell you also that it's not been an easy process for me to really get this going. I had this idea in my heart for 10 years now, and it's coming to a fruition today. And only last year I, found the real way of doing this, and I got the material, I got the assistance, and I got the gut to do it. And it was actually my clinical supervisor that that I have used for more than 10 years now. I always have a clinical supervisor for me in my work. That said, told me that he had worked with people like Kay Shepard 20-some years ago. He worked with Melody Beattie and traveled around the States with her doing seminars. So she's the one that wrote Codependence No More. So, he's been with all of these fabulous people, done a lot of stuff like David Powell that wrote the student manual. And he just said to me, Esther, all of these fantastic people talked about doing this for 20-some years and nobody did it. So are you going to do it or not? And I decided to go ahead. I would never forgive myself if I didn't go ahead and do it. And I know that probably all of you and so many other people would be able to do it better or different or whatever. But I am setting this on course. I have the greatest group of students that I could have imagined. And I have a fabulous group of teachers with me. And I have people all around us cheering us on. And so I know that the energy is with us. I know that, together we will move a mountain. Together we will move a mountain. That's what we're here to do. So today I want to thank you for all your openness. I want to thank you for your vision for this work. I want to thank you for being the person that you are. And I want to encourage you to keep listening to your own heart in all of this. And if it is anything that I support is for a person to stand by themselves. So please, for whatever reason ever, you feel like you want to state out something, say something, you feel something, that's the right thing. And I welcome it and we will work with it. So I will see you next Saturday. And I just want to say that for any questions, concerns or anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. If you really need to talk with me, we can find a time on Zoom or Skype or whatever. One other thing that I would like us to think about is to have a Facebook group or a WhatsApp or Messenger group or something that we can, will make it kind of more accessible to continue our discussions about everything that we're doing. So I think we will wait with that until next weekend, and then we'll decide on which way we're going to go in that direction. And please give me ideas on what you guys would like. I don't know if everybody has Facebook. Some people have really decided not to do that. So we may not need to find something like WhatsApp or something different to communicate. So, but please let me know what would be a convenient way for you guys in order to be in a loop with everyone, so that when somebody gets an idea and feels the wisdom come from within and want to share or ask a question or whatever, that we can do that and everybody can see it. So we become support in that way too. Okay, I probably haven't remembered everything that I wanted to say here today, but then there is going to be opportunity for that again and again. And so hope to hear from you all through the week, and look forward to seeing you all next Saturday or Sunday. Thank you very much, and thank you for participating. You're a great group. So you take care of yourself for the remainder of this day, and I look forward to seeing the ones that are coming in on tomorrow. And please let me know if you are, and if I haven't gotten you here. And oh yeah, I can see there's some chats here I need to take a look at. Okay, so are we ready to do something else today? I think so. Okay, I will then end this meeting and see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
I'm just going to look at the messages here.